Hello everybody, it's Bill's College Football Guy here with another preview and prediction video. Yeah, we got a lot more to go. Alright, we're talking about the Rockets of Toledo from the MAC Conference. They had a good 2024, 8-5 last season. In one of the more memorable bowl games of this past year, they played Pitt in the Game Above Sports Bowl, where they won in 6 overtimes. Wow. I had a chance to check out some highlights. I was like, damn. All right. Coaching staff-wise for Toledo, we're talking about the future here. Head coach Jason Candle, his 10th season as head coach. Hard to believe his 10th. This is the beginning of his 10th full year as head coach. He did fill in for a bowl game in 2015. This was beforehand. That was the Boca Raton Bowl, and he actually went in that one. Note here, Toledo is the only head coaching job Jason Candle's ever had. In his previous 9 seasons, though, his record is 73-40, so he's got a pretty damn good record. Now, coordinator-wise, we have 2 co-offensive coordinators. We have Mike Hurlett, who begins his 6th season as co-offensive coordinator. He's also the offensive line coach. We got Robert Weiner, I believe his name is here. He also begins his 6th season as co-offensive coordinator. He is also the quarterback's coach. But Jason Candle, the head coach, he calls his own plays. And Toledo was 86th in total offense last season. Now, defensive coordinator, it's Vince Carries, who begins his 6th season as defensive coordinator / linebackers coach. So that means all of them are getting their 6th year. That means this entire coaching staff is beginning together for the coordinator-wise and the head coach for 5 years. You know how hard that is in today's FBS, in today's college football? 5 years, the same. Damn, pretty impressive. Toledo last season was 54th in total defense. So, middle of the pack, above middle for defense, but below middle for offense. So, we're going to see how this goes. Now, offensively wise, talk about the quarterbacks. No question, the starting quarterbacks can be Tucker Gleason, redshirt senior. He's back under center. Last season, 233 for 385, 2,793 yards, 24 touchdowns and 8 picks. Good touchdown reception ratio. Who could battle him for the starting job or end up being most likely the backup? John Allen Richter, the redshirt junior, 43 of 67, 497 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 picks. There's 4 other quarterbacks in battle for third string, so basically I don't see any of those other guys having a shot at the starting job. So it's basically Gleason and Richter, but it's Gleason's job to lose. So you got your starting quarterback back. That's always a positive. Running back room. This is going to be a battle, a lot of transfers to see who's going to be the starting, including some transfers. That's going to see who's the starting running back. Because, I mean, I have an odds-on favorite. Now, for those of you who don't know, for running backs, for me to consider them statistically, you're going to have at least 100 yards rushing in FBS the previous year. You know, that way I'll mention your stats. If you're not getting stats mentioned, you didn't have at least 100 rushing yards for the season. All right, so who's battling here? Well, we've got Kenji Christian, the redshirt senior transfer from North Carolina A&T. That's FCS. We have everybody else, including a transfer, has some stats. Like we have Chip Tranum, the redshirt senior transfer from Kentucky, 19 carries, 101 yards, and no touchdowns. And then you got 2 holdovers from the previous year. Willie Shaw II, the senior, 46 carries, 190 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then you got Condor Wilenzak, I hope I'm saying his name right, 128 carries, 458 yards, and 1 touchdown. We're going to see how that goes here. But it's going to be an interesting battle to see who's going to be the starting running back here at Toledo. Wide receivers, I think we have a battle for the job. I mean, it could be here. I mean, there's a battle for the starting 3 wide receiver job. I see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 guys who legitimately have a shot at the job, being one of the starters, or at least in their 5-man rotation. Going 5 wide, and they could be playing in that those formations. But the series I'm going to talk about here, Samarian Lang, I believe the sophomore, Terrell Crosby Jr., redshirt junior, Jedediah Willoughby, redshirt sophomore, Julian Allen, the redshirt sophomore. None of them had at least 10 receptions this past season, so they're not really that proven. Now, we had 4 who did, including a transfer. Thomas Zaciros, I hope I'm saying his name right, the redshirt senior, 12 receptions, 148 yards, and a touchdown. You had Eric Holly III, the redshirt junior, 14 receptions for 126 yards, no touchdowns. You had a transfer from Northern Illinois, Trayvon Rudolph, the redshirt senior, 37 receptions, 392 yards, and a touchdown. But the number one, there is no dispute who the number 1 wide receiver of Toledo is. That's Junior Vander Ross III. 85 receptions, 957 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's the clear number 1 for this team. Who's going to be the other 2 starting wide receivers? We will see. Tight end is a unit that I have concern about because of the 3 guys who have candidates to be the starting tight end. Jacob Peterson, the redshirt senior transfer from Holy Cross, C.C. Aziram, the junior, and Connor Jones, the redshirt senior. None of them have at least 10 catches at the FBS level last year. So we're going to see how the tight end room goes. Offensive line-wise, 3 transfers are coming in, and they're probably going to be battling for some starting jobs here. Jonathan Harder, love the name, the redshirt junior transfer from Cincinnati. Terrence Moore, the redshirt senior transfer from Pitt. And Christian Medlock, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Northern Illinois. When we get a chance to battle for some starting jobs, we'll see how that goes. But the offensive line could be an issue. I don't know. I think they're going to be a solid unit, but we'll see how this goes from here. Defensively, who's going to be starting on the defensive line? On the offense, you saw the fact there was a little bit of question marks in certain spots. Defensive line, we got a lot of guys who can battle for some stuff here. In fact, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10. 11 people legitimately could be in the defensive line rotation. 11 legit. Now, how many of them didn't have at least that back end of the rotation guys who didn't have at least 10 tackles at the FBS level? Duran Ray Jr., the redshirt senior, Lath Sharma, redshirt sophomore, Don Munnerlin, the redshirt senior, Jeremiah Peters, the redshirt senior, and Travion Ford, Avery Dunn, the redshirt senior transfer from Michigan State. None of those guys had at least 10 tackles this past season. But we have guys who did have 10 tackles, including a transfer that's going to be coming in that could be making a name for himself right off the jump. I see something coming on. I'm going to turn the audio down on this thing because it's going to be making a lot of noise here in a second. I saw a message coming in here. It shows up on my phone before it shows up on the call comms. I want to kill that off before it becomes a problem. But anyway, have at least 10 tackles at the FBS level this past season. So let's talk about it. We're talking about Travion Ford, the redshirt senior. He had 10 tackles. He qualifies on that list in the back end of the rotation. You have Eshawn Carter, the redshirt senior, 16 tackles and a sack last year. Malachi Davis, the redshirt junior, 20 tackles and 2 sacks. Anthony Dunn Jr., the senior, 25 tackles, 4 sacks, and a forced fumble. Martez Pointer, the redshirt senior, 30 tackles and 3.5 sacks. Those are all the indigenous players, but one transfer could make some moves. Laus Julian, the redshirt senior transfer from UMass. Now, UMass is not known for having a big defensive front and whatnot, and anybody who's good on that team is probably going to get double-teamed. He had 63 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a pass deflection. On the defensive line. That's going to be interesting to see how he works on that line. But the defensive line looks like a solid unit for Toledo. Linebacking core, I see 2 key possible guys. But basically right here, nobody has blowaway numbers to be the starting linebackers here. I mean, you have Langston Long, the redshirt senior transfer from South Florida. Christy Apollonia, love the name, the redshirt sophomore. Neither one of them had 10 tackles in FBS last year. We had 2 guys who did. You got Kavon Sherman, the junior, had 11 tackles, and Damon Ellison II, the redshirt senior, had 16 tackles and a forced fumble. Other than pure freshmen, that's all you really have. So, a couple redshirt freshmen here and there, but none of them are really going to be on the list. So now I'm looking at it like, wow. this could really be an issue at the linebacking core for who's going to happen here. Secondary, that is the one unit I don't doubt who's going to be starting. Because you hear some of these stats come, I'm like, oh yeah, starter. One even question. Now let's get to the ones who might be. Well, one is kind of interesting though. Jaden Dotton, the redshirt senior. He was a wide receiver last year. Got converted to safety. I was thinking about played a few other positions too. I think was a quarterback too. I think. He's getting really the measurables. We'll see what happens there. Amari Snowden, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Wisconsin. Braden Moore, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Wisconsin. Andre Fuller, the redshirt senior. He didn't even play last year. He didn't play last year. He played a lot the year before. Played some the year before, but he didn't really play last year. You've got Dylan Holler, the redshirt sophomore. Nicholas Thompson, the redshirt sophomore. Caden Holmes, the redshirt sophomore. None of them had at least 10 tackles at FBS level last season. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 who did. And quite honestly, I think these 5, if you're going to go do a nickel, this would be your 5. Andre Wilson Lamp, the redshirt senior transfer from East Carolina, 24 tackles, a forced fumble, an INT, and 2 pass deflections. Going up from there, we have Nasir Bowers, the senior, 43 tackles, a forced fumble, 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6, and 5 pass deflections. You have Avery Smith, the senior, 58 tackles, 2 picks, and 14 pass deflections. I think he's going to be a starter at corner. We have Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I know he's a safety. He's a senior. 61 tackles, half a sack, a forced fumble, an interception, and 4 pass deflections. And also another safety, Braden Alls, the junior. 72 tackles, half a sack, 4 picks. One of them was a pick 6, and 6 pass deflections. I'm not worried about the secondary when it comes to the starters. The bench, you got some guys in here, but you got transfers from Wisconsin, other players. So the secondary, I think, is going to be in really, really good shape. I think it's the defensive line, the secondary, I'm not worried about it. The linebacking core in the middle, that could be the problem on the Toledo defense. So we're going to see how that goes. Like offensively, going back and look at it, let me pull this back up again. Quarterback room, I'm not really worried about. Wide receivers, there is a question, and running backs possibly a question, but we'll see how this goes. So now that we've done talking about the preview, let's get to the prediction for the 2025 Toledo schedule here. Now, first off, they're on the start of the season on the road in Lexington at Kentucky, the season opener for both schools. They only have played each other once before in 2019. Kentucky won 24-0 in Lexington. You're back in Lexington. I don't know if you're going to get shut out or not, but that's a big fat L. You're losing that game. Then you come out of there at home against Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky played North Alabama at home the week before. And so they have a relatively easier game. You play Kentucky, but you're at home. They got to travel to see you. Not that far from Bowling Green to Toledo. Not exactly a super long trip. So has its points there. Could this excuse me. I need my notes correct here. Do I believe that this is going to be a dogfight here? These two schools, excuse me, have only played each other once before as well, which was last season. Western Kentucky won 26-21 in Bowling Green. I looked at Western Kentucky's rosters and looked at some things going on there. They got a lot more transfers than Toledo does, a lot more unproven players. So, for that being said, and Toledo's at home, even though they played Kentucky the previous week, I'm going to give the edge and give Toledo the win over Western Kentucky. Following week, they're at home against Morgan State. Morgan State played Towson, so it was an even matchup there. They're home the week before. This is the first time that Morgan State and Toledo have ever played each other. And Morgan State, you're leaving Toledo with a loss. They're going to get a win on that game. Then they're starting MAC play. They got one more non-con in the middle of their schedule, but they're starting MAC play on the road at Western Michigan. Western Michigan played at Illinois the week before. So, you know, Toledo plays Morgan State. You're playing Illinois, and Illinois is going to beat people up. This is also, you're on the road at Western Michigan, but this is family weekend. The families are there for Western Michigan that weekend. Last meeting was in 2023. Toledo won 49-31. You're on the road, family. This is going to be a close game, but I think Toledo's going to pull it out and beat Western Michigan on the road. Then they come back home to play Akron. Oh, my goodness. Akron. And this is at home for Toledo, and this is Toledo's homecoming game. Akron played Duquesne the week before, so Toledo played Western Michigan, a tougher opponent. Now you have all this stuff going. This is going to make things a lot tougher for them. Last meeting was last year, and Akron actually beat Toledo 21-14 at Akron. Nobody forgot about that. And now Akron's coming in here. Yeah, they're going to beat you and beat you badly. They're going to get revenge on that one. Toledo's beating Akron. So they go into their first bye of the season, 4-1. They come out of their bye. It's the Battle of I-75 at Bowling Green. Both schools have a bye the week before. So neither one of them is saying, and the fact is, Bowling Green and Toledo is not, Bowling Green, Ohio and Toledo, Ohio are not that far apart at all. It's a bus ride. It is not that far at all between Bowling Green and Toledo. I made plenty of deliveries, to Toledo in this truck. So I know what this will do. So this game will be here. This is going to be a tough game. It's going to be a physical game. Last meeting was last year. Bowling Green won 41-26 in Toledo. Now, they had an all-world, all-American tight end on their roster who's not there. This game is going to be a lot closer, and it's going to be a lot tougher. But I'm sorry, Toledo, Bowling Green's beating you back-to-back years. I'm giving Bowling Green's going to win the Battle of I-75. Then you go, how do you lose a tough game against a tough battle game? You know, you get to go back home against Kent State. Kent State played UMass, who's now in the MAC, at home the week before. Last meeting was in 2022, I believe it is here. Toledo won 52-31 in Toledo. You're on home again in Toledo, and you're beating Kent State again. Just out there. Now, you face Kent State. You had that one. Kent State is a game that actually technically could be a trap game. Be perfectly honest. It's one of the notes I forgot to read here. Because you have Bowling Green in front of it, and the next game is at Washington State after. Could somebody be caught looking ahead? It's going to be an interesting situation here. So we're going to see what happens. But I think they're going to beat Kent State. But now they got to go cross-country, leave Toledo, and fly all the way to Pullman, Washington to play Washington State. Washington State, this is actually family weekend for Washington State. They played at Virginia the week before, so they just had jet lag going to Virginia. They're coming back home. But now you got jet lag, going to go play them. This is the first ever meeting between Toledo and Washington State. And that being said, Toledo, you're traveling cross country. You're catching a loss. So you go out of the loss. You have a bye week. Out of the bye. And you come out of the bye week to start some action games. You have two. At home against Northern Illinois. If you watch the Northern Illinois preview and prediction video, you already know how this goes. I have you beating Northern Illinois. You come out of that, another Wednesday game at Miami of Ohio. Tough day. Miami of Ohio plays Ohio, their MAC championship game rematch. They're playing at Ohio the week before. So that's going to be a tough game for them. Last meeting was last year. Toledo won 30-20. Miami of Ohio's, remember that? This is going to be a tough matchup. And I'm sorry, Toledo. I think Miami of Ohio is going to beat you. So you're going to lose that game. Then you come back home to face Ball State. Ball State played at Eastern Michigan the week before. It's a tough matchup. Last meeting was in 2023 where Toledo just could not play offense. They won 13-6 at Ball State in Muncie, Indiana. I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. Jason Candle remembers that game, and he's not going to make the same mistakes twice. You're beating Ball State at home. And you finish the season on the road at Central Michigan. Central Michigan plays at Kent State the week before. Last meeting was actually last year. Toledo won 37-10 at Central Michigan. This game is going to be a lot closer to 37-10, but it's still going to be a win for Toledo on the road, which means Toledo finishes the year 8-4, but 5-3 in the MAC. I don't think that's going to be good enough to make the MAC championship game. But I've done enough running my mouth. Why don't you let me know what you think about this preview and prediction video down in the comments. So thanks, everybody, for watching. If you haven't done it already, do me the favor. Smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. I'm going to run through the schedule one more time without all the extras. And you tell me who's going to win. Starts off the season at Kentucky, home against Western Kentucky, home against Morgan State, at Western Michigan, home against Akron. Then they get a bye. Come out of the bye, Battle of I-75 at Bowling Green, home against Kent State, at Washington State. Then they get their second bye, home on the Maction game, home on Wednesday against Northern Illinois. Another Wednesday game at Miami of Ohio, home against Ball State, and at Central Michigan. Why don't you take a look at all that and let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Move this over here. Share the video if you'd like to, and if you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos that I've done. If you like them, hey, subscribe to the channel. Trying to make the road to 1K here and make some magic happen. If you want to follow me on the craziest, that is X. The link is in the description. More preview and prediction videos are coming, folks. Wow. So, more on the road, more coming soon. I may be spacing some of these out because I plan on doing a video whenever mediation for the Mountain West and the Pac-12. I'm assuming the exit fee one's going to get done first. We'll see how that goes. When that happens, I may be busting up the routine here, which be going on there, but how that goes with there. But more preview and prediction videos, and there's a lot more to go. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Hope everybody's having a great day. Be safe, and please be good to each other.